Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Coffee Time. Hey, look, we can switch to alternate camera. Look at that. Ah, that's good, isn't it? I could do one of those cuts, you know, when they talk to the camera, and then the camera does the angle where they're not looking at the camera, which is really irritating, and you feel like shouting out, "Why aren't you looking at the camera?" And then when they look at the camera, they cut to the other camera, and then they're not looking at the camera, and then they're looking at the camera, and then they're not looking. Oh, it gets confusing. But this is coffee time, or it is a thing. At least, yeah, I've got the audio. Yeah, the audio is switched on this time. That's good. Maybe it wasn't. Was it switched on there? Yes, it was. Just checking. Yeah, everything. This is entitled "The Problem with Coffee Time." For yesterday, I was free. Why, Darren? What are you talking about? For yesterday, January the 5th, 2025, I exited my 3-month warning. Yeah, I had a community order warning, community service, community action. I don't know what they call it. Community. I got a warning of a community strike, not an actual community strike. A warning of a community strike for something that I posted on Coffee Time 3 months ago. And this is why I've been very reluctant to do anything with this blooming platform. Again, I'm not going to say what it was, but it's something that we've covered in Coffee Time many times. You know, it's a news story. And back in, I guess it was October. God, October. Who remembers October? I literally finished doing Coffee Time. Lunch. Mrs. wants to watch Coffee Time. As we're watching Coffee Time, it gets taken down. It gets struck. It gets taken down because of the content therein. And I'm thinking, oh, that's odd. So anyway, you read their comments because they tell you you've been a naughty boy, and you read it and you go, well, one, you've interpreted the thing out of context, and two, there's an appeal, so I appeal it, and it's instantly bounced back at me. No, they don't have the robot, the machine gods, the machine code gods have no interest in the idea of context or what you're actually doing. And again, I imagine I've not done this because, you know me, my brain suddenly goes, hey, why don't you search for that kind of content? Why don't you search for that content on YouTube and see if you can find any? Because this content, oh, let me have a look. Can I find anything of it? Yes, I can find hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these videos. I'm doom scrolling here, featuring exactly the same content. Some of it worse. Again, I'm not going to say what it is. I'm going to be a little bit of a tease. I'm going to tease you, but there's loads of this kind of content on YouTube, unfiltered, unpunished. But that day they said, no, you can't do this, even though there was a twist to it. There was a twist to the context of this said context. And so for the last 3 months I've had the warning of a community strike hanging over the channel. Now that's not a problem because I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to do it again, but I've done it in the past. There's no reason for the algorithm to search through my past live streams and coffee times to find similar things that fall foul of this rule and hit me. And if you get a community strike, it means that you can't post, you can't live stream. Basically, your hands are tied. But I've had the threat of this over me for the last 3 months, So I've been a bit loath to do Coffee Time, because I react to what's in front of me and I go, oh, that's a good story, and I put it in. My editorial filter is like a minute behind. sometimes. I'm like, oh, this will be fine because I'm thinking like a human. I'm not thinking like a machine. I'm not thinking like an algorithm that doesn't take into account humour or context or a message. Because you can post material that's unsettling if you're proving a point or trying to do a good thing. Context is key in everything, but the algorithm doesn't care about context. Certainly doesn't care about my channel. Doesn't care about me, because it's a machine. It's only interested in engagement. Now, the funny thing is you'd think this kind of material would be great for engagement, but no. It's only certain kind of channels can get away with it. Mine can't. And so, yeah, it's been a bit tricky. I've kind of thought, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to put my nuts in the vice, as it were. And so there's that content is still there. There's coffee time now. I could remove them all. I could delete all the coffee times because I don't know what the algorithm doesn't like, because it's vague. It's only when it selects something and it says we don't like it that you know it doesn't like it. Because I've found hundreds of videos. I've just typed in the word, and then hundreds of videos on YouTube, all unfiltered, all there for you to watch. Worse than what I did. So yeah, that's the problem with coffee time. That's the problem with YouTube in general. There's other issues too, but just to give you a bit of an idea of why I just given up on this, because it's very difficult. It's very difficult, viewer. It's very difficult to know what they want. Very difficult. This bloody robot. It's not that clever. But yeah, it's very difficult to know what it wants half the time. I don't know what it wants. So here we are, not doing coffee time, called coffee time. But it gives you an explanation. So should we talk? We can talk about news. Should we talk about? Have you been paying attention to British news at the moment? There's been a bit of a moral panic. There's been a bit of a furore over grooming gangs, apparently. That's a polite way of putting it. They're not really that. They're again, this is the problem with YouTube. You can't say the word just in case you get demonetised. But I don't care about it being demonetised because I'm not here to make money. I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be a right-wing shock jock or something like that. But yeah, these are just rape gangs by another name. And look, everyone's blaming Keir Starmer. It's all Keir Starmer's fault. It's all Jess Phillips' fault. It isn't. This goes back 25, possibly 30 years. Again, there was rumours of this back in the 70s, but they weren't necessarily Islamic-led. It was the white guys. It was the white guys, the rich white guys who were doing it back then. Like that one that they, the Westminster scandal that they managed to get to go away. It's clever how they got that one to go away. But yeah, there's been lots of fury, and Elon Musk has got involved. Who? Exactly. Elon Musk. He should be bothering himself with getting us to Mars and saving the planet, or whatever it was that he wanted to do, rather than involving himself in British politics. But you've got to remember, it's not Starmer's fault. It's not Jess Phillips' fault. You can trace back the culture of this to Gordon Brown, who gave the decree that, don't want to cause a fuss. Don't want to cause a fuss. We don't want any tensions in communities when crimes are committed. And this is a similar culture that allows knife crime to flourish in London, because certain communities say you can't search us. It's not fair, and this is what happens when common decency and sensibility gets thrown out for #BeKind. But again, if you question this, you're instantly branded as racist or whatever. Look, I don't want any young black people dying on the streets of London, and Khan should be, again, who got a knighthood. again, we celebrate the ineffectual in this country. Should be doing more to stop that. But again, if you look at it a certain way, he don't care. Why would he care? They're not his people. This is it. Because there is a racism that runs through all of this. And there's also the idea that, and this is one that I subscribe to, that all these politicos are only interested in preserving the status quo. They don't want us lot, the plebs. They don't want the plebs to get a sniff of power, because if we did, we would change things, and we'd change things for the better, and that can't be a thing. We can't do that. That can't be allowed. We can't allow any of that. And again, people are going on about, like Farage has weighed in. Now look, if Farage ever gets a lick of the spoon, if he ever gets into power, mark my words, the civil servants who actually run the country will take him to one side, they'll take him into the room, and they'll talk to him, and then he'll come out ashen-faced onto the steps of Downing Street and say, there's nothing I can do, because there isn't. And I'm not talking about, this isn't some sort of Illuminati conspiracy theories, it's just the way our government is structured. There are people that run things. Just watch Yes Minister, Yes Prime Minister. They've been talking about this for years. There's the civil servants who actually do things. And then there's the politicos who just want to preserve, the cushy job that they're in. And this is where we're at. This is why nothing gets done. This is why we are in the state it's in. This is why, the NHS, there's not enough money. This is why, this and that and this and that, whatever political football they're kicking down the road. Everything you see around you, everything you see, from the rubbish not being collected to the potholes in the road to, the police not walking the beat. Everything is a decision. Everything is a decision that's been made. And it's been made by somebody that is paid a lot of money to make that decision. And they'll talk about budgets, and they'll talk about, we can't afford it. But they can afford it. They can afford it when they want to afford it. Just think of any of the tokenisms that they subscribe to, whether it's giving money to, you name it. Whatever annoys you, there's money for that. There's money for that. And this is where our politics is completely gone wrong. And we're never going to fix it. It can't be fixed. And unless there's some sort of revolution, and that's not going to happen. But what happens is you end up with this kind of moral vacuum where people like Tommy Robinson and Farage and Elon Musk kind of fill that void, because it's a grift. They can grift out of it because there are people that think that you can change things. You can't. You can't change anything unless you get involved in politics at a local level. And then you'll get into local councils and you'll find that the people that actually run the councils, it's all nepotism, and that's tightly knit, and it's hard to break that too. So the whole political structure needs to be ripped apart. This is what Dominic Cummings was trying to do, but he was a chaotic. He had nothing to replace it. And so that's a problem too. There is no solution, and I wish I could offer you one, but there isn't. But don't listen to any of these people. Again, I think Jess Phillips is a little bit out of step. I think she might need to. I mean, what I think, again, I'm loath to have these, big investigations, because every time we have one, nothing ever changes, nothing ever gets done. But we do need a national investigation into these grooming gangs, and to see just how organised they were, if there was a connection. Because you've got to remember, they ran from Glasgow down to Yeovil, and it would be interesting to see if there was a connective tissue, a fibre running through them, a criminality, because I imagine that there would be money involved, there's drugs involved, again, there's a lot of people involved in councils, involved in Labour as well, and Tories. Wherever there's power, there's corruption. This is where we're going with this, and it would be. There is one. I think it does need to be investigated, maybe on a criminal level, to see if there was a connective tissue running through all of this. But wherever there's men, there will always be this, because men use power to satisfy themselves, whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whether it's rock and roll. No rock and roll here. This is what happens when male sexuality goes unchecked. And you don't have to be Islamic. You know, there is this in the Jewish community. There's wholesale abuse in that. That's been uncovered. Religion has fuck all to do with it at the end of the day. It's all about raw, naked male sexuality and what men can get away with. Again, when it comes to the Islamic community, it's an organisation. They can close ranks, they can hide each other. That's why it works. You know, the Catholic Church, you see it because they can close ranks, they can hide the behaviour. You know, in certain public schools, they can close ranks, hide the behaviour. You know, don't do it again. And this is what you need to look at. It's about male sexuality at the end of the day, and everyone looks at it the wrong way. Everyone looks at these things the wrong way, and it can be solved. It can be solved by making sure that anyone in public office, whether it's you know, at the lowest level in council to the highest level, that they have no criminal record whatsoever, whether it's for speeding or anything. You know, these checks need to be made, and anyone with any sniff of corruption, you have to be whiter than white, you know. And that's the way we need to tackle these things. We need to not turn a blind eye to people's indiscretions, you know, because you see that. You saw it with Hugh Edwards. Oh, he has a complicated love life. People are too willing to turn their eye to male indiscretions, and we should all be judged in the highest standards. I think this is what's happened. It's this, it's that. It's, you know, we make too many excuses, and that's where this has gone. And so we now stand in a place where one of the world's biggest nut jobs, Elon Musk, bought a platform. He's people need to look at it. He's now like Rupert Murdoch. Everyone moaned about Rupert Murdoch when he ran the newspapers, but he was subtle with his message. He was subtle. You know, he got people riled up really in a subtle way with his newspapers. It was more like was it boiling a frog, you know, slowly in hot water, whereas Musk comes out swinging and punching wildly and madly because he realises that to have influence you need to have access to a social media platform, because that's where the gullible go. That's where the morons go. Now, all the people that go, oh, vaccines, oh, you know, and whatever other flat earthers, whatever other conspiracy theory is doing the rounds, that's where they head, because that's where they can, you know, feel a sense of belonging, rather than in the old days going down the pub and having your mates calling you an imbecile for thinking that the world was flat or the moon landings were faked. We don't have that check anymore. People are allowed to just wallow in their own idiocy and, well, mental illness. And this is where we're at. Makes you feel good, don't it? This is such a positive message for the new year. I've been telling you we're all fucked. And we're all fucked because we pay too much attention to social media and the likes of Elon Musk and Farage and Starmer and whoever else, and, you know, but Badenoch or Badenoch. We need to actually look at ourselves, take a long, hard look at our society and see what we've become. And it's not good. It's not good. And nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse because as one generation fades and falls away, the next generation steps forward, and you've got the millennials who will be coming into power soon, and those guys are really crazy. And all sensibility will be thrown out of the window. All reasonable discussion and debate will be gone, and that's when it's going to get really bumpy. But you know, I'll be dead by then, so it'll be good. But yeah, this is the problem with everything. This is the problem with coffee time. This is the problem with social media. It allows people like me to talk to people like you, and it shouldn't be allowed. It should all be banned. This shouldn't be allowed. But all we can do is believe that sensibility will come back to us. I don't think so. I think if you look at the way the Greek and the Roman civilizations crumble, the Western world is going in a similar way at the moment. We're obsessed about the trivial. rather than the important things, and we're trying to fix problems that don't exist when we should be, making people's lives easier. But they don't want that. That's not what it's about. You can't make a profit if people's lives are easy. We can talk about net zero, which is another great big con. We should make the world and the country greener. We should, get rid of pollution and plant more trees. I believe in that. I'm an old hippie, love and peace and all that. But net zero is a fool's errand. It's a fool's errand. It can't be done. Can't be achieved. The farmer in his field, you can't have a tractor, or any heavy machinery with a battery inside it, because they don't work in cold weather, and you need the horsepower. You need the horsepower to, the batteries just aren't strong enough and powerful enough to, it take a lot of energy and power to achieve that. So you're going to always need the combustible engine. There's always going to be a need for it, and you're never going to truly achieve net zero. Now, again, they talk about EVs, electric vehicles. We've gone the wrong way with that. Hydrogen-powered vehicles would have been the best way, but the electricity industry would have said, hey, but we weren't going to make our profit, are we? We want to make a profit. Do you see where I'm going with this? There is a reason why things go the way they go. There are decisions that have been made, and you've got to question every decision, because it's always the wrong decision at the moment. Because if we had hydrogen cars, well, there wouldn't be... One, you wouldn't need these great big grids, these recharging points, which are never going to happen. We got it was 2025, or we're in 2025 now. Now it's 2030. Then it'll be 2035. Then it'll be 2040. Then it'll be 2050, and then eventually people will just give up, and they'll find another way. But here we are. 2025. We are now a quarter of the way through the 21st century. Let that sink in. Now, for me, it only feels like yesterday that I was heading into work on New Year's Day. I'm going to keep going on about it, through a almost apocalyptic London, where there was no one there, just champagne bottles discarded in the gutter. And I thought that, hey, we're going into a new century. This was going to be exciting. This is going to be new. This is going to be, new technology and everything. But we're ended up here, where everyone is just looking around wondering what the hell is going on, and everything just feels wrong and off and fragmented, and society just is off kilter. And that's all down to technology. That's all down to this. That's all down to you listening to morons like me. And here we are. Now, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Answers in the comment box below. What do I do? What do I do? What can I do? There's nothing I can do. I walk everywhere. I don't drive, I walk. I haven't been on a plane in fucking hell since 2007. Last time I went on a plane. I try not to harm the environment. I try and ignore people the best I can. I don't harm anyone. I mind my own business. But here we are. What can I do? What can I do? What can you do? I don't know. Try not to let it get you. I think that's the thing. Try and keep your headspace clear. Try to, again, look at things in a critical way. Critical thinking is important, but sensible thinking too. It's really easy to blame someone for everything when it's more complicated than that. It's really easy to point a finger this way and that when the actual answer is over there, and they're using this to target a certain group for other means. That's what Tommy Robinson's done. Again, don't get me started on that grifter. But yeah, you've got to choose your heroes wisely, and in fact, don't have any heroes. Just make your own mind up. Don't follow anyone. Follow yourself. And then maybe we can get out of this. But I don't know. I think we're all doomed. We're all doomed, and that's the problem with coffee time. No, the problem with coffee time is it's hard for me to talk about things without Google and YouTube saying No, you don't. You know. And every year, again, for those of you who don't, not every year, every month, for those of you who don't have a YouTube channel, every month they send out a memo saying, these are the rule changes for this month. And you're expected to memorise them off by heart. And it's hard when you're trying to, bring all this together. Anyway, I've gone on for far too long. This is just a rambling rant about nothing in particular, like the rest of YouTube. I don't know what I'm doing here. There is nothing here for me to do now. Doing music reviews is largely pointless because you don't need me. You don't need me. You can go and listen to whatever you want, anytime you want, for virtually free now. That is the nature of the digital beast. My voice is not needed. I don't feel any impetus to say, oh, this is a good album, because when I do that, people don't watch. And if I say, oh, this is a shit album, people say, why did you say that? Why are you bringing your negativity here? So, I feel like I'm fighting morons at every front. There's always something wrong. There's always something wrong. So, what's the point? What's the point of it? However, I am still doing guitar videos on my other channel, which I don't mind, because the idiots seem few and far between. They are there, but, I usually look at them and go, you're an idiot, in the comments, and delete their comment. So I've got that going on. But maybe I just need everyone to say, Darren, we need you. We need you. Because I don't feel particularly needed. Because the algorithm says I'm not needed. Because it is designed to put people off. And only to celebrate grifters like Mr. Beast. Well, everyone's on a grift. Everyone. And again, if you want to help this channel, send money now. I doubt if there'll be anyone in the chat room. I doubt it. Should we have a look? Oh, there is. AJ's in. He says, I love coffee time. And she says, oh, Darren, Happy New Year. Same to you. I've been down with the man flu, slowly recovering. He's got the vid. Stay away from Kostalik. He never got these vaccines. He's an anti-vax denier. I was all vaxxed up. I'm vaxxed up. I had my flu and my COVID way back in October. Probably around the time when I got the warning from YouTube. It's been that long. And no, I went to the health. Do you want to do health? Should we do health? You can do it. You can pretend to care about me. We can do some health. We'll do some health news. So anyway, I had to have my bloods tested because I don't know if I've told you this, but I'm a type 2 diabetic, and it didn't come back good. My bloods, my cholesterol said it was abnormal, and I thought, I like the sound of that. But then I think I mentioned it. They never told me I had to fast before the blood test. So I went in with a belly full of yogurt, like I do. And so that may have affected the test. But when I saw the lady, she said, nah, your cholesterol's not that high. It just says abnormal when you go over a certain thing. She said, oh, that's not a problem. I explained to her, I'd eaten yogurt. I had a bowl of yogurt. No one told me I had to fast. I've never had a cholesterol test before. So I won't do it again, I promise. But it was to do with my blood sugars. My blood sugars was high. But you've got to remember, this is in December. And I'd had mince pies. I'd had a couple of mince pies. And I think that's what did it. So now they've put up my my dosage of my drug that I'm on. And so, oh man, it's not good. They want me to go up to 4 tablets a day. I'm on 3 at the moment. And my stomach is really not liking it. And I told her, I said, I don't think I can do 4. I think it's going to make me really ill. And every so many days, I have what's known as a mass evacuation event. I'd leave it 20 minutes if I were you. And it's not very pleasant. And so there we go. But, I'm still here. That's my health. But I haven't got the flu. I'm fighting fit. I'm still walking. Walking miles I am. I ain't fallen over yet. Here we are. I hope you're all doing well. But yeah, I've got to go back in, they said, another 3 months and see how my bloods are. I'm hoping, but that all the Christmas pudding custard would be out of my system, you know, and that they won't find any more blood in my cheese stream. I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, and Mike says, bloody hell, Darren, I'm getting Toblerone urges looking at my shelf. Yeah. One of them says, Dad, my hero, and the other one says, happy birthday, Dad. My kids know that I have type 2 diabetes, but they insist on buying me Toblerone. I think they're trying to get rid of me. I like Toblerone. They were so afraid. They were ages ago. Naz is in, right? He says, you and your common sense. There's been enough reason why such common sense isn't prevalent in government. Well, again, I don't know how the Canadian, because he's from the other. He's a colonial cousin. I don't read good things coming from Canada, and I think Trudeau's supposed to be stepping down in the next few days. But I imagine that your government is probably modelled on our system because, you know, you come from us, as it were, and you know, I just think it's, I don't know. I just think these organisations, they get a bit worried about losing power, and what you would do. Let's face it, you would do. And the problem with the way government is every 4 or 5 years you get a new government, and so they sweep away what the previous government did, and so no change ever happens. You're in a constant cycle of inertia, and unless you're like the Conservative government of the last 14 years, who, well, just liked having lots of referendums. Oh well. Nobody mentioned Brexit. I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. I still think it's a good thing. But there's a lot of boo, Brexit bad. Have you seen the economic figures from the last 5 years, they go, since Brexit? And then you go, yeah, what happened 5 years ago, eh? What happened 5 years ago? Yeah? The old Kung flu, that's what happened. No one's mentioning that, and how they shut the economy down for 18 months. No one talks about that. It's like it never happened. But yeah, again, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And never give anyone any power. That's what we've got to learn there. Because if they do get power, they either gravitate towards money or sex, especially if they're men. You know, we don't have that problem if women run things. You know, Thatcher never. You know, I'm not a fan of Margaret Thatcher. I'm just saying. I think maybe we should just let the women run the things, because they wouldn't let the little girls get raped, would they? I'm just saying. Let the mums, you know, right? Let grandparents run social services. You put a grandfather or a grandmother with an ex-army type to do, you know, visit the troubled families, and a lot of the bullshit will go away. You know what I'm saying? A bit of muscle and a bit of grandparent sensibility, and we'd solve all the problems. But we don't respect experience. We don't expect life experience anymore. We don't respect sense. We just respect the individual, and the individual's a moron. Anyway, dog cam, yeah, she's here. She's here, and she's watching me, thinking he's going to point that bloody camera at me, because we're now running 3 cameras. We got camera 2, we've got camera 3, and we've got camera 1. We've got all the cameras. There she is. She's there. It's a bit murky. I mean, it's hard to believe it's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it feels more like midnight, because we're going through I don't know. Can I adjust? Can we adjust cameras? Can we? Image adjustment. Can I make it go a bit? Brightness. Can I invite her? There we go. Make it a bit brighter. There she is. She's just not bothered. She's not bothered by us. Anyway, where are we? Mike says, bullshit, your perspective is valued truly. Thank you, Mike. Again, you're not a familiar name, so that means even more when a stranger from the shadows reveals themselves. And AJ says, Darren, we need you. Thank you. This is what I need. This is what I need. This is what I need. More. Give it to me. Your adulation. Your adulation. It's been a strange 3 months because I've been literally shitting myself, worried that the algorithm was going to go through all the coffee times and find similar things that they didn't like, and I was going to get a community strike. But I didn't want to talk about it because I wanted it just to go, and it finished yesterday on the 5th of January. And I thought, right, the shackles are off. I feel a bit freer now. But you just feel like you're in a bloody minefield, It's just ridiculous. And I want to talk about it, but if I talk about it, then forces who are against me might weaponise it against me. So I'm not talking about it. So I'm going to be subtle in what it was. But suffice to say, there's plenty of this content on YouTube that goes unchecked. And this is the nonsense of all of this. There is not an equal playing field for anyone. Andrew says we do need you. Thank you. And AJ has given me $4, which is, I don't know, what is that in Earth money? Does it tell me? Oh, it says £3.22. Wow, that means the exchange rate is not bad these days. Blimey. More dollars, please. More dollars. But yeah, it's a bit murky at the moment. I think I'm going through the old seasonal affective disorder thing because it's so dark. It's like, it's like, I want to get through to springtime, But Christmas was all right. Christmas was fine. Zeb says, Darren, are you looking forward to Landbox? Are you getting it? I sure am. Am I looking forward to it? There's nothing in it that's new. It's the same old. I'll get it because it's the lamb. I'll probably get the vinyl one. I don't know. It's expensive. Everything's expensive, and I'm just so turned off by everything. Like I said, there was a new Bonzo Dog Doodah box set out just before Christmas, and it's £250. And I keep looking at it, and I'm thinking, I could sell some stuff. But, just everything, once the things go over £120, my arsehole tightens up. It's like, and 250, crikey, a little bit more. I could buy a guitar. I could buy a Squire second hand or something, I could, buy a musical instrument. So, again, I'll get it in for review or whatnot. I think I'm kind of duty bound by review for the review gods, as it were, in a desperate attempt to stay relevant. For the few views that I'll get. I might get it in, but again, you've got the CD version, you've got the vinyl version, and I'm like, Of course, if they sent me a free one, that'd be very nice. Review copy, guys. I'm sure Genesis are watching. I'm sure Peter Gabriel, because Peter Gabriel's Real World are actually handling a lot of the distribution for that, which is really interesting. Yeah. You can get it from the Real World store. Send me put a copy in the post. It'd be great. It'd be marvellous. Blimey, Mike's given me a £5. Not a stranger, mate. Just a lurker. Always loved your videos. Thank you. Well, this is it. There are so many people that don't make themselves known, and I mean that's great. I respect that. It's fine. You don't have to wave at me, but you don't know. I always say you don't know the impact you have, because I'm just talking at you, who's me, and I don't want to look at me. I'm just looking at the camera, so I don't really know what impact I'm having. And again, talk about Alan Harwood, God bless his cotton socks, was a good example of that, because you do this thing, and you're nice to people, and you do things, and then it comes back at you, and you're rewarded, and you don't expect it, and it's reward beyond your wildest dreams. You don't know the impact you have, and I think again you do have to be kind of mindful of that. Again, in the past I was probably a little bit more dismissive of the impact of it, because you just think, I don't know. But then over the years, because people have said to me, you've got me through dark times, and I've been ill or whatever, or I've been unemployed, and I've had messages both publicly and privately of people saying that, you suddenly think, wait a minute, there are people who pay attention, but I don't get it in the in the views like other people do. I don't get thousands of views, I get hundreds of views, but it's a very, very loyal audience. Like that, I'm humbled by. So, that's the thing, isn't it? But it's just knowing your place, because YouTube is such a weird place. It really is. And it's so disheartening. Trying to build any sense of community or any kind of sense of anything is, it's just such a... All social media is a bit at the moment. It's all kind of been gamified. It's all kind of toxic. It's all kind of algorithmically sifted, and... I always look at when my son, he does videos, and he's doing better on TikTok. He very sneakily opened up a TikTok account without telling me. Sorry, I had words with him, but he's doing very well on there. He's doing much better. He gets thousands of views on TikTok than he does on YouTube. And you just go, that's interesting. But I'm not going on TikTok. I'm too old for that. Nobody wants to see this old face on TikTok. So I know my audience, as it were. So that's that. Zeb says, it's not that expensive for my music. Check it out. Oh, okay. I'm just going to check it out under Zeb's recommendation. What's iMusic? Have I used that one? Have I used iMusic? I don't know. Let me have a look at it. Oh, well, yeah, I think I bought stuff from them in the past. Let me have a look. Genesis. Oh, yeah, 71 quid. Yeah, I'm getting it. Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. I've seen it for like 180, 190 pounds. Oh, sorry, let me just let everybody into the secret. It's, whoops. It's 100 and... Let me get rid of that. Get rid of him. It's 138.99. Wow, that's good. And it weighs 3 kilos. There you go. It's about the same weight as my testicles. But you don't know about that. I'm sure they'll go down eventually. It's only 1.5 kilos if you get the CD, which is 71.49. So there you go. So that is a good tip. That is a good tip. I'm going to put that in the chat so people... I'm not getting any money from this. I don't get any money from... I'm not an iMusic person. So this is a... I did not know about that. So there you go. That's the CD version. And let me just get the LP version up. Yeah, I think that's a good tip, that is. Thanks for that, Zeb. There you go. I was looking in the wrong place. AJ says, I missed the first couple of minutes. It sounded like you might be slowing down on coffee time again. Is that true? I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I was just explaining about getting a community warning. It wasn't a community strike, but coffee time earned me a community warning because I covered a topic that they said no. A topic, however, if you search for on YouTube, you can find loads of it, unedited, uncensored. I was doing it in context. There was a context behind what I was saying, and it was the reverse of the thing. Context is key, but it literally got taken down within 10 minutes of me doing the video, and I got this community warning which lasted 3 months, and it just ended yesterday. The thing is, if they found any more content that matched that criteria, or I broke the rules again, I would have got a community strike, and that would have meant I couldn't post, and live streams have been taken away. And if you get 3 of them, I think your channel gets deleted. So I was a little bit nervous because Coffee Time covers much of this kind of content over and over again, and I was worried they were going to go algorithmically through my back catalogue, as it were, and that's why Coffee Time has been a bit... I don't know what to do with it. I don't know whether to do it live, because if I'm doing it live, my editorial filter is different. I'm thinking like a human. I'm not thinking like the algorithm. And so if I see a story, I'll cover it. All right? And I don't know if I'm going to maybe do an edited version where I do it and then think, I've got to drop that story. Or, look at stories, be a bit more focused. I've got to figure a way. That's if I only gets 100 views a day. So, it's... And And here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. If I can, I don't know if it's still on there. I've got a great message on here. Look, oh, it's gone there. Oh, that's a shame. I had a great message. They put messages on your YouTube studio page, and it said, "Did you know if you did live streams, you could get 175% more money coming into your channel?" And I thought, that's a load of bollocks, because I was doing live streams every day. Tuesday night live stream earns me fuck all. I do live streams, unless I've got very kind people like AJ and Mike here, it earns me zero on the old, on the old advertising. Because again, we go through the dance. I do a live stream, it will automatically get flagged. It will automatically say, this is limited ad suitability, right? And then I have to appeal it. And then 3 or 4 days, sometimes a week, sometimes I've still got videos from 4 years ago that are still pending. And that really limits your viewership and whatever. It's the game. It's the game, the little dance that we play with YouTube, that you don't see. You don't see it. And it's for us to deal with, and it's boring, and it shouldn't be like this, because I'm not doing anything offensive or awful, but the gods, the moral gods, the moral algorithm says, you can't do that. But it's a load of hypocritical ball bags, because you go on YouTube and there's loads of it there, but I've fallen foul of it, and you just go, I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. It's just the way it is. But I'll keep you posted. Zeb says, you could also do a video about all those zillion Genesis bootlegs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. Zeb, but it's a bit expensive, because there's just so many of the fuckers. I was tempted on doing that, because it really boils my piss. Am I allowed to say that? It really annoys me. And I said to Burning Shed about a couple of those things they put out on the socials, that's a bloody bootleg. They went, no, it ain't. It fucking well is. That's a bootleg. So you got companies like Burning Shed willingly, this is how you know the music business is finished, because they're willingly publishing and selling bootlegs. Now, there's nothing to stop me. There is nothing to stop me going through like the Genesis archive, because there's the Genesis Museum or whatever it's called, and knocking together some awful AI shit, for the cover, and just putting it. I'm doing it myself. I could do that, but do you know what? I don't, because I'm not a fucking bootlegger. Despite what that band and that awful company, those lies were spread about me, I'm not a bootlegger, But this is it. Anyone could do it. You could do it, right? All you do is go onto one of the sites that has the live material. You download it. You edit it onto CD format. You get some AI software, and then you go to a company like I use for my own CDs and get them bastards to make, 500 copies. And you're in. And then you can set up an account on Amazon, right, to sell said things, and you can sell them. Go on, do it. We should flood it. Flood the whole thing. We should flood it all. We should flood it all. We should flood it all with horrible, cheap knockoff bootlegs. That's what we should do. It really bugs me. Everything bugs me. I get irritated easily because I'm an old man, and I'm just very irritated all the time. I'm niggled. I get niggled. Do you get niggled? I'm niggled. I'm very, very niggled. Oh well, it is what it is, I suppose. And where are we? Zeb says, and Pink Floyd Jethro Tull, most with hideous AI. Exactly. You've got it. I'm looking at the wrong camera. I don't know where I am. Anyway, so this is a blistering return, and really the kids haven't gone back to school yet. That's when I really kind of get. I've been spending time with mainly my daughter. My son, he's in his room. You know what boys are like, but he's mainly talking to my daughter. That's what we do. Oh, wait a minute, some good dog cam. Good dog cam. Wait a minute. I've got some good dog cam for you there. Look at that. And there she is, laying next to Alex and Hannah in their little ornamental urns. Ah, don't worry, Layla. That's where you're ending up. Soon a live stream. This is the live. What you mean Tuesday night? Oh, I don't know if I'm returning. I don't know. I might have to start charging. I was thinking of maybe charging it just to members only live stream on Tuesday nights. What do you reckon? That could be fun. Members only. Yeah. It's doable. Because this is what I notice people are doing now. Again, a guy I follow, he did these monthly like little vlogs, which I really enjoyed. And he said, "Well, if you want to watch them from now on, you've got to give me £2 on Patreon." I thought, shit, that's what I should be doing. But I'm not going to watch those videos, so no one's going to watch mine. But there you go. I think we'll stop there because it's going to be lunchtime soon. Oh, AJ says, don't talk about bootlegs. Bootlegging, you may get a YouTube strike. Nah. I was telling you to do it, not me. Context. Oh, shit. But no, I mean, it's just ridiculous, the state of the music biz, TM. I mean, there are more independent releases on, being put on Spotify and on all the streaming platforms than the actual music. The music biz TM, they've given up. It's kind of dead and dying, and that's how they can get away with this thing. That's how you can get away with all those terrible bootlegs. I'm loath to get involved, but and then there's a lot of them on on like YouTube Music on streaming. I was listening to for my sins. I was listening to some Mike Oldfield ones before Christmas. I don't know why, I just felt like Mike Oldfield thing. So on the dog walk, I was listening to all these like live bits from the 1980s. I think I'd heard them again. I think they'd appeared on some of his expanded CDs, and people had just ripped them and released them over there. And you think, how can you get away with that? But they do. And that's the world we're living in now, where people can profit off this stuff. I can't imagine they're making much money out of it though. But I suppose if they're doing £1,000 or something, if they're getting £1,000 in, and you release enough of them a year, if you release 20 CDs a year, that's 20 grand. So I suppose it's something, isn't it? Anyway, leave a comment, leave a like, leave a sub. I don't know, subbing, that's a bit old-fashioned, is it? Nobody really cares. But do leave a comment. Tell me what you'd like to see. Tell me what you'd like to see in the comments box below. I don't know. I'm going to try and get my head together and see what I can come up with. I'm going to see if I can inspire myself. But keep your eye out. Keep your eye out, because we've got a video coming up shortly. It's Dog in the Snow 2025. Yes, it's the full edited. It's only edited because I accidentally turned my phone off with my glove, and I thought I was filming and I wasn't. So it's not the entire dog walk when it was snowing the other night, but it's the bit I managed to capture because butterfingers. It was very cold. That was my excuse. But yeah, we've got that video. I'm putting that video up where you can actually watch the dog walk, and I know that's going to do well. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your continued patronage. Thank you for the cash, AJ and Mike. That goes into the pot. If I'm lucky, that probably this month will bring my earnings over about 60 quid. Oh, the good old days are gone. Oh God, he must be coining it in on YouTube. No, I'm not. But it doesn't matter. That's not what we're here for. Why are we here? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Every year I try and figure out what I'm doing here. But anyway, now that the warning of the strike is gone, I feel like my shackles are off and I feel a little bit freer, and so I'll figure something out. I just wish there were a few more releases that I could bitch and moan about. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Anyway, That's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for continued watching. This is the new year, new danger. Stay sensible. Common sense is the key, and love is the answer. Hate is just a path to stupidity and destruction. And love is the way. Love is the key. Love is the law. Ta-ta. See you soon.